Okay. Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Scha Om Jnana Timaranda Shaghana Jana Shalakaya Chakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Gurava Bhistam Supurakam Gurugana Rasesha Sambhushitam Chintya Samasta Veda Nipanam Shri Rupa Patanugam Govinda Abhidam Ujwalam Bharatanum Bhaktyan Vidam Sundaram Mande Vishwa Gurun Shah Divyat Bhagavat Prem No Ebija Pranam Devam Divyatanam Suchanda Varanam Balarka Chelan Shitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Sri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Saraswatanam Baram Bandetam Shubharam Mareka Sharanam Nyashishvara Sridharam Manshakopatarubyas Chakripa Sindhubhye Vicha Patitanam Pavenebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're hearing from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is the Madhya-lila, Chapter 1, the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. And this is verse number 235. Jana due sangayami jaba nilachale amare miliba ashi Rathayatra kale. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although requesting all the devotees to go back, allowed two people to follow him. He requested all the devotees to come to Jagannath Puri and meet him during the car festival. So this is after Mahaprabhu had visited Rupa and Sanatan Goswami in Ramakeli, and Mahaprabhu was while he was traveling through Bengal, so many devotees were following him, and it was becoming an impediment. And in a sense also, although there's no danger to Mahaprabhu, but it's attracting the attention of the Muslim government because they don't want a Hindu prophet leading the people. And he went to Ramakeli to get Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, and that's where the Nawab of Bengal stayed. And when he asked to Rupa Goswami, who is this person? The Nawab asked, and Rupa Goswami replied, well, you're the king, so you're representative of the Lord, you can say, and you can look within your own heart, and you tell me who you see him as, because then the Nawab says, I see him as the Supreme Lord. And then the Nawab said that, and he told his men, don't give any trouble to Mahaprabhu. But then Rupa and Sanatan, who are ministers to the king, they said, although the king has said this and his intentions are good, but you can't be sure with dealing with the Muslims. So they said that his own officers and men, they can be plotting against Mahaprabhu. So they said it's better if you're going to Vrindavan. This is not the way to go to Vrindavan with so many people. So Mahaprabhu, he turned back. He didn't continue to Vrindavan. He turned back and he went back to Shantipur. He's in Bengal. He went back to Shantipur, to the house of Advaitacharya. Of course, Mahaprabhu had been in Jagannath Puri. He met with all the devotees. Some time had passed because Mahaprabhu had been some years away. He went all the way through South India, on the tour of South India. to look for Vishwarup. So when he got back to Advaita Acharya's house, then all the devotees came, and Mother Sachi also came and was with Mahaprabhu, because she knew that he's not going to return to his home. The sannyasi normally doesn't do that. So she met him at Advaita Acharya's house. So Mahaprabhu said when he went to Bengal, it was two things. He was going to see Janani and Janavi and Janani. Janavi is the Ganga, the river Ganges, and Janani is his mother. So he would see the Ganges and he would see his mother. For that, but really the reason he went to Bengal is to get Rupa and Sanatan Goswami. So to do that, he had to go right to where the Muslim government is at, and he you can say he told them, gave them instructions and extracted them from the Muslim government. And you can tell that didn't sit so well with the Muslim government because they imprisoned Sanatan Goswami. And Sanatan Goswami later was able to get out of the prison by giving a big bribe to the jailkeeper. But for now, where we're at now, Mahaprabhu is turned back. He's already accomplished his goal to get Rupa and Sanatan. They will leave on their own. And he's already accomplished that, and he's going back to Jagannath Puri. And within a few days of getting back to Jagannath Puri, then he'll leave for Vrindavan. But this time he won't go through Bengal per se. He'll go through Jharikanda. Jharikanda, the jungle or forest. And there he'll be only with the animals, basically, in small towns in the jungle. But he'll be with the tigers and elephants and everything like that. And he liked it. He was very happy on that trip. So that's where we're starting. He's just turned back from Ramakeli and come to Shantipur, to the place of Advaita Acharya. And I'll read that again. Jana dui sange ami jab nilachale amare miliba ashi Rathayatra kale. Mahaprabhu, although requesting all the devotees to go back, allowed two people to follow him. He requested all the devotees to come to Jagannath Puri and meet him during the Rathayatra festival, during the car festival. Balabhadra Bhattacharya Pandita Damodar Duijana Sange Prabhu Aila Nilachal. The two persons who accompanied Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Puri, Nilachala, were Balabhadra Bhattacharya and Damodar Pandit. And Balabhadra Bhattacharya is who he went with Mahaprabhu through the jungle to go to Vrindavan after they returned to Jagannath Puri. That was his associate. So two people accompanied Mahaprabhu to Jagannath Puri in Nilachala, and they were Balabhadra Bhattacharya and Damodar Pandit. Dinakata Tahanrahe Chalila Vrindavan, Lukaya Chalila Ratre Najane Konjana. After remaining at Jagannath Puri for a few days, the Lord secretly started for Vrindavan at night. He did this without anyone's knowledge. So this chapter is the later pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. All these things will be explained in detail, but this is just a resume. Well, not just a resume, but it's a nice resume of all Mahaprabhu's pastimes. And we said that Krishnadas Kaviraj in part is doing this because he's old, and at least he will present a resume, which he hopes later to be able to complete, explaining. Balabhadra Bhattacharya Rahe Matra Sange Jarikanda Pate Kashi Aila Maharange. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri for Vrindavan. Only Balabhadra Bhattacharya was with him. Thus he traveled on the path through Jharikanda and arrived in Benares, Varanasi, with great delight. So when Mahaprabhu traveled through the jungle, he was actually with the, as I said, with the tigers, elephants, deer, and so many animals. And the animals were dancing with Mahaprabhu in the jungle. And that jungle is called it's called the Jharikanda forest, but it's actually a jungle from our point of view because there's wild animals there, so many. But now Bhakti Tilak Niriha Maharaj, he's from a relatively new state in India called Jharkhand, which is where we're talking about the Jharikanda forest and Jharkhand. That's, they're, related. So, Dina Jara Kashite Rohe Gela Brindavan Mathura Dekiya Deke Dwarasha Kanan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed at Benares only 4 days and then left for Vrindavan. After seeing the town of Mathura, he visited the 12 forests. So Vrindavan, the word Van means forest. There are 12 forests, and Vrindavan is one of them. Those who visit the Vrindavan area today also generally visit 12 places known as the 12 forests. They start at Mathura, where there is Kamyavan forest. There they go to Talavan, Tamalavan, Madhuvan, Kusumavan, Bandiravan, Bilvavan, Bandravan, Kandiravan, Lohavan, Kumudavan, and Gokulam Mahavan. Those are the 12 forests. I'll wait here. Right? From there, you tell the 1, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They start at Mathura, where there is Kamyavan. From there they go to Talavan, Tamalavan, Madhuvan, Kusamvan, Bandiravan, Bilvavan, Bhadravan, Kadiravan, Lohavan, Kamudavan, and Gokula Mahavan. Okay, so it doesn't, then I'm wrong, because it lists 12 forests, but it doesn't list Vrindavan as one, so Vrindavan must be the collection of all the 12 forests. Do you know about that? There are 12 forests in Vrindavan, right? But it doesn't say Vrindavan is one of them. They list the 12 forests. So I guess those 12 forests together are Vrindavan.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Oh. Lila stala deke preme hoila astir Balabhadra koila tare Mathura bahir. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited all 12 places of Sri Krishna's pastimes, he became very much agitated because of ecstasy. Balabhadra Bhattacharya somehow or other got him out of Mathura. Ganga Tira Pataloya Prayage Aila Sri Rupa She Prabhu Ke Tatai Milila. After leaving Mathura, the Lord began to walk along the path on the bank of the Ganges, and finally he reached the holy place called Prayag, Allahabad. It was there that Srila Rupa Goswami came and met the Lord. So Rupa Goswami had previously met Mahaprabhu when he went to Ramakeli. And then Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were ministers in the Nawab Hussain Shah's government. And Rupa Goswami left the service left the service of the Nawab, and then he went to Prayag. Mahaprabhu told them to go to Vrindavan, so Rupa Goswami went to Prayag when he got to Prayag, he met Mahaprabhu. And Prayag is where they have the Kumbh, one of the places, or 4 places where they have the Kumbh Mela. It's Prayag. So I believe that's Prayag is where they have the Triveni. Okay, it was there that Srila Rupa Goswami came and met the Lord. And Rupa Goswami, after he left the government, the Nawab service, he put a good amount of, many thousands gold coins with a local grocer, so that he knew that Sanatan Goswami, who was the senior of the two, Sanatan's oldest, and he knew that Sanatan Goswami would have trouble leaving the service of the Nawab. They put him in jail, so he left gold coins for the grocer to be able to pay the bribe to get Sanatan Goswami out of jail. It was in Prayag that Rupa Goswami met with Mahaprabhu. All this is going to be expanded in many chapters in the Madhya-lila. So in one chapter we're going to hear the whole. So the Antya-lila, the final, the Antya-lila will also be given in the form of a resume. Dandavat Kore Rupa Bhumite Parila Paramanande Prabhu Alinganadila. At Prayag, Rupa Goswami fell down on the ground to offer obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord embraced him with great delight. Shri Rupe Shikakarai Pataila Brindavan Apane Korila Varanasi Agaman. After instructing Srila Rupa Goswami at the Dashavameda Ghat in Prayag, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered him to go to Vrindavan. The Lord then returned to Varanasi. Kashite Prabhu Keyashi Milila Sanatan Duimasha Rohitare Koraila Shikan. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Varanasi, Sanatan Goswami met him there. The Lord remained there for 2 months and instructed Sanatan Goswami perfectly. So Sanatan Goswami, after being in jail, he went to Varanasi. This is also explained how he got out of jail, and when his you can understand how big the bribe was he paid to get out of jail, because his servant Ishan had 8 gold coins, was traveling with Sanatan Goswami, and one person who had some land where they had to cross had an astrologer with him, and the astrologer told the innkeeper that Sanatan Goswami's servant has 8 gold coins, and the innkeeper was planning on murdering him that night to take those coins. And so Sanatan Goswami, after he talked to the innkeeper, he said, this innkeeper was like too nice to me. Do you have any money with you? And Ishan said, I have 7 gold coins. Actually, he had 8, but he said, I have 7 gold coins, because he's planning on keeping 1 for himself. if he said Rupa Goswami, I have 7 gold coins. And then Rupa Goswami said, why are you carrying this death knell with you? It means they're going to kill us for that money. So he said, give me those gold coins. So Ishan gave him 7 gold coins, and then Rupa Goswami gave the coins to the innkeeper. That's what, and he said, "I'm a prisoner. I'm an escaped prisoner of the government. Help me to get out and get across from here." So the innkeeper sent a guide to help him across some land where he wouldn't be detected, and he was able to escape in that way. And then Rupa Goswami told Ishan, "I think you still have something left of those gold coins," because the innkeeper said, he said, I knew you had your 8 gold coins, and I was going to murder you tonight to take those coins." But then the innkeeper said, "But don't worry, I won't do that." And then Rupa Goswami said, "Better you take the gold coins," because he was telling him, "I won't do that." But Rupa Goswami said, "Here, take the gold coins, because if you don't take them, somebody else will try to murder me for that." But he had 8 gold coins. They were going to murder him for that, and to bribe his way out of the jail, they'd given the jailkeeper 10,000 gold coins. And they were going to murder him for 8. So you see, because the jailkeeper accepted the 10,000 gold coins, but they could have killed him for letting Sanatan Goswami escape. Dandavat Kori Rupa Bhumete Parila Paramanande Prabhu Alinganadila. At Prayag, Rupa Goswami fell down on the ground to offer obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord embraced him with great delight.
Janardan Maharaj ki.
So now he's Rupa Goswami. When he met with Mahaprabhu and Ramakeli, they both had Muslim names, although they were born in a Brahmin family. But they had taken employment from the Muslims. They'd become like Muslims, kind of. And Rupa Goswami was called Dabir Kas. So now he's met again with the Lord at Prayag. At Prayag, Rupa Goswami fell down on the ground to offer obeisances to the Lord, and the Lord embraced him with great delight. Shri Rupa Shikakara Patala Brindavan Apane Korila Varanasi Agaman. After instructing Srila Rupa Goswami at the Dasham of Maida Ghat in Prayag, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered him to go to Vrindavan. The Lord then returned to Varanasi. Kashite Prabhu ke Ashi Milila Sanatan Duirasa Rohitare Koraila Shikan. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived at Varanasi, Sanatan Goswami met him there. The Lord remained there for 2 months and instructed Sanatan Goswami perfectly. Mathura Pataila Tare Diya Bhakti Bhal Sanyasere Kripa Kore Gila Nilachal. After fully instructing Sanatan Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent him to Mathura with empowered devotional service. In Benares, he also bestowed his mercy upon the Mayavadi sannyasis. He then returned to Nilachala, Varanasi. Okay, so here it's saying that Mahaprabhu met with Sanatan Goswami, and he converted the Mayavadi sannyasis. It says here, Varanasi and Benares are the same place. Varanasi is the real name, but many cities later had other names given either by the Muslim government or then the British, but the name is Varanasi. Chayavatsara Aiche Prabhu Korela Bilas Kabu Iti Uti Kabu Ketravas, but known most people as Benares. The Lord traveled all over India for 6 years. He was sometimes here and sometimes there, performing his transcendental pastimes and sometimes he remained at Jagannath Puri. So this is basically the traveling period of Mahaprabhu. After he took sannyas, he lives first 24 years in Navadip as a growing up, and also we can say spent his childhood, youth, and he got married, and he stayed in Navadip. And after 24 years, he took sannyas, and then he lived another 24 years. And the first 6 years of those 24 years is the Madhya-lila, and we're in the Madhya-lila, but that's the biggest part of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And that's during his travels and instructions of the devotees and everything. So the Lord traveled all over India for 6 years. He was sometimes here and sometimes there, performing his transcendental pastimes, and sometimes he remained at Jagannath Puri. Those 6 years are the Madhya-lila. And the remaining 18 years, he was in Vrindavan. Those years, not Vrindavan, pardon me. The remaining 18 years, he was actually in Jagannath Puri. Those years are called the Antya-lila. Trying to explain it and making some mistake, but anyway, he was in Jagannath Puri or Nilanchala for the remaining 18 years. Anande Bhakta Sanghe Sada Kirtana Bilas Jagannath Darshan Primera Bilas. While Jagannath Puri, the Lord passed his time in great joy by performing Sankirtan and visiting the temple of Jagannath in great ecstasy. Madhya-lila Koilun E Sutra Vivaran Antya-lila Sutra Ebe Shuna Bhaktagan. Thus I have given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila, the middle portion of the Lord. Now will devotees kindly hear the synopsis of the final pastimes of the Lord, known as the Antya-lila. So you can see in this chapter, it's a resume of the Madhya-lila and Antya-lila. And the Adi-lila, in the Adi-lila, this is 18 chapters of the Adi-lila, and the first 12 chapters are giving you ontological information, or information about who all the persons in Mahaprabhu's lila, who the different personalities are. And it's in the 13th chapter that starts with the Lord's divine appearance. And then 14, 15, 16, 17, 17 chapters? Chapter 17, I believe, is the last chapter of the Adi-lila. All right? 17 chapters, I can see again. Not 18. 17 chapters of the Adi-lila. I just finished that. But there's 5 chapters dealing mostly with the lila, and Krishnadas Kaviraj says that Vrindavan Das Thakur has already explained the Adi-lila in the Chaitanya Bhagavad. So I don't have to go into great detail on that. And what the devotees have especially requested Krishnadas Kaviraj to write about is after Mahaprabhu took sannyas. So that's the Madhya-lila and the Antya-lila, and their, there are 25 chapters of the Madhya-lila, and then 20 of the Antya-lila, and Krishnadas Kaviraj is giving a resume of all those chapters here in this first chapter of Madhya-lila. So he says, thus I have given a synopsis of the Madhya-lila, the middle pastimes of the Lord. Now will devotees kindly hear the synopsis of the final pastime of the Lord, known as the Antya-lila. Vrindavana hointe jade nila chale aila, atara varshatahan vashatahan nahigela. When the Lord returned to Jagannath Puri from Vrindavan, He remained there and did not go anywhere else for 18 years. So, let's see. I haven't read so much today, but it's getting late. It's because I arrived late. Let's see where it started. Pratibara Aisena Tahan Godera Bhaktagan Charimasha Rohe Prabhu Sange Samilan. During those 18 years, all the devotees of Bengal used to visit him at Jagannath Puri every year. They would remain there for 4 continuous months and enjoy the company of the Lord. Nirantara Nritya Gita Kirtana Vilas Achandale Prema Bhakti Korila Prakash. At Jagannath Puri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed chanting and dancing unceasingly. Thus he enjoyed the pastime of Sankirtan. He manifested his causeless mercy, pure love of God to everyone, including the lowest men. Pandita Gosai Koila Nilachale Bas, Bhakreshwara Damodar, Shankara Haridas. Residing with the Lord at Jagannath Puri were Pandita Gosai, that's Gadadhar Pandit. Residing with the Lord at Jagannath Puri were Pandita Gosai and other devotees such as Bhakeshwara, Damodar, Shankar, and Haridas Thakur. Jaganananda Bhagavan Govinda Kashishwar Paramananda Puriyana Swarup Damodar. Jaganananda Bhagavan Govinda Kashishwar Paramananda Puri and Swarup Damodar were other devotees who also lived with the Lord. Ketrabasi Ramananda Rai Prabriti Prabhusangi Esab Koilan Nityastiti. Srila Ramananda Roy and other devotees who were residents of Jagannath Puri also remained permanently with the Lord. Advaita Nityananda Mukunda Srivas Vidyanidis Vasudeva Murari Jatadas Pratibarshe Aishe Sange Rahe Charimas Tasabar Loya Prabhu Bibida Bilas. Other devotees of the Lord, headed by Sri Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, Srivas, Vidyanidhi, Vasudeva, and Murari, used to visit Jagannath Puri and remain with the Lord for 4 continuous months. The Lord enjoyed various pastimes in their company. So the devotees would travel from Bengal and be with Mahaprabhu during the Chaturmasha time, 4 months. Haridas Siddhi Prapti Adbhuta Sesab Apane Mahaprabhu Jara Koila Mahosav. At Jagannath Puri, Haridas Thakur passed away. The incident was very wonderful because the Lord himself performed the festival of Thakur Haridas' departure. Tabe Rupa Gosai Punaragaman Tahara Ridaye Koila Prabhu Shakti Sancharan. At Jagannath Puri, Srila Rupa Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord invested his heart with all transcendental power. Tabe Chota Haridase Prabhu Koila Danda Damodara Pandit Koila Prabhu Ke Bhaktivedanta. After this, the Lord punished Junior Haridas, and Damodar Pandit gave some warning to the Lord. Actually, Damodar Pandit was the eternal servant of the Lord. He could not punish the Lord at any time, nor had he any desire to. But he did give some warning to the Lord so that others would not blaspheme him. Of course, he should have known that the Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and is free to act in any way. There is no need to warn him, and such an action is not very much appreciated by advanced devotees. So, actually gave some warning to the Lord. It said about Damodar Pandit that things that would not be, that he would not, he was not so careful. Things that weren't really important to him, he took as important for the Lord because he thought that Mahaprabhu should be above all kind of possible criticism. So Mahaprabhu was associating and instructing one young person, one young boy. He was instructing him. The person was very young, like maybe some of the people here are very young. So, but Damodar Pandit was very angry that Mahaprabhu would see this young boy, and he tried to forbid it. And it seemed illogical. Why would he do this? And then Damodar Pandit says, well, because people will criticize you because this young boy, his mother is a widow. And not only she's a widow, but she's very young and she's very beautiful. So if you show so much attention to this young boy, it will look bad. He's thinking, people will think that you're showing affection to this young boy because his mother's very beautiful and she's a widow. So, I mean, it seems that this kind of warning is like, wait a minute, this is, he's just instructing the boy. He's not meeting with the mother or anything. Why this kind of warning? But Mahaprabhu said, you are very meticulous and very careful in noting all these things. So I think it's good that if you go to Bengal, you can protect my mother. She's there by herself, and you can be there to watch over her sometime like that. So he gave this warning to the Lord. And actually that Damodar Pandit, he has a younger brother named Shankar Pandit. And Shankar Pandit had a very close relationship with the Lord. It's not that Damodar Pandit didn't have a close relationship with the Lord, but his warning is not always so appreciated by the devotees. Tabe Sanatana Gosara Punaragaman Jaishta Mase Prabhutare Koila Parikan. Thereafter, Sanatan Goswami met the Lord again. The Lord tested him in scorching heat during the month of Jaishta. So, each one of these verses contains so much happens in each verse. You have to know the Lord tested him in the heat of the month of Jaishta. But how the Lord tested him, everything is. The Lord called Sanatan Goswami to come see him when he was at the Tota Gopinath temple. And to get there, the quickest way or the best way would be to walk by the Jagannath Puri temple gate. But Sanatan Goswami would never go into the Jagannath Puri temple, and he considered himself, because he'd taken employment with the Muslims, he considered himself that, a fallen person, and he was concerned that if he walked near the gate, the pujaris, the Jagannath temple, were always coming and going, and a pujari might touch him and become contaminated. So he walked by the gate, and he took a path along the beach through the sand. That sand was like a fire, during the summer months was like a fire. So walking walking on that sand, his feet became blistered. And then Mahaprabhu saw his feet were all blistered and everything, and Mahaprabhu asked him, and he explained everything. So that was kind of like a test. You could say, it's not really, it's Tabi Sanatana Gosar Punaragaman Jaishtamashe Prabhu Tare Koila Parikan. This word parikan, you can say, like a test, but the word also refers to, we know the word Parikshit Maharaj. It's like this word parikan, something like Parikshit. He was the son of Dronacharya. What is his name? What I said yesterday in the lecture, the elephant, Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama was very upset that his father had been killed, and also he was with so he gave a curse to kill all the sons of the Pandavas. And he launched a Brahmastra, like a nuclear weapon, against Parikshit. And Parikshit was not against Parikshit per se. Parikshit was in the womb of his mother. I think his mother is Uttara. And Ashwatthama launched this Brahmastra, like a nuclear weapon, to kill him inside the womb of his mother Uttara. But Krishna entered there and stopped the Brahmastra. And when Krishna entered there into the womb to stop the Brahmastra, then Parikshit saw Krishna, and he never could forget Krishna. So his whole life, he's looking at everyone, looking for Krishna. So that's why he's called Parikshit. Parikshit means examining. He's looking at everybody, examining the Lord. So that's what this is called. It says, thereafter Sanatan Goswami met the Lord again, and the Lord tested him in scorching heat during the month of Jyeshta. But the word testing really means examining, looking at. It's not like a test, you can flunk or fail. The Lord is seeing. The Lord is examining Sanatan Goswami. So, or seeing Sanatan Goswami, like Parikshit saw Krishna, he could never forget him. Tushtahaya Prabhutare Bhataila Brindavan Advaitera Haste Prabhu Adbhuta Bhojan. Being pleased, the Lord sent Sanatan Goswami back to Vrindavan. After that, he was fed sumptuously by the hands of Sri Advaitacharya. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Jadavaya Nama Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama Gopa Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Mananamohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Janardan Shiva Sadi Gora Bhaktivedanta Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raguna Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raguna Echai Gosai Kori Charana Vandan Jai Te Vignana Shavista Puran Jai Gosai Charmui Taradas Tasabar Padarenu Mora Panchagras Pader Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame Janame More Abilas Jai Gosai Jabe Braje Koilabas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pare Manjai Aman Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriyash Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam-das Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Goranga Gandharvika Giridhari Jo Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charyashta Tara Sadrashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Charya Ashtatara Sadrashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakakshidhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Prem se gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai. Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Tilat Neriya Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Ram Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Sri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Sri Koladvi Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai. Tulasi Madharani Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Govardhan Sham Kuna Radha Kunda Kalindi Amona Ju Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.